Well,
Go ahead.
for us, it all started with in water deep. Rigby grew up as a personal assistant to the thieves guildmaster, until finally one day he decided that he was skilled enough to perform his own heist. So he decided to take a job at one of the local nobles' houses on the second floor of the building. Upon performing the job, he broke into the upstairs window at this noble's house and found two of the city watch waiting up there for him. Immediately he knew that he had been set up. Immediately he burst out the window, and with the two city watch guards chasing after him, jumping from rooftop to rooftop. But unfortunately, one of the rooftops he jumped to had a weak ceiling, which immediately cracked under his feet, dropping poor Rigby down into the women's bathhouse with a loud splash. Rigby immediately looked around and saw all sorts of women in the women's bathhouse here, including a funny-looking high elf in the corner. Everyone started screaming hysterically, and running all over the place, running out of the bathhouse. And fortunately for Rigby, actually, it was fortuitous, because the city watch was so distracted by all the naked women running all over the place that he was able to slip out and make his escape. Only while he was slipping out and making his escape, he noticed that one of the figures in the women's bathhouse was not actually a woman, but a high elf that looked sort of feminine. So Rigby decided to follow this high elf, since he looked just as scared as Rigby at the time, and Rigby and this new high elf, named Nyx, eventually became good friends. Unfortunately, during the escape, a paladin started chasing us as well, and eventually caught Rigby, but figured out that Rigby wasn't such a bad guy. Shortly thereafter, wanted posters went up all over Waterdeep for the bathhouse burglar. And I'll turn it over to someone else to continue.
I thought we were going to hear Paladin there for a second too.
So yeah, well, Nyx is a high elf, yeah. But the circumstances of my birth are shrouded in mystery. There was a huge storm on the day I was born. Wise men predicted that I would be the harbinger of the apocalypse, and so on and so forth. A dark power dwells within me. Yeah. All my life I've been on the run from the Omega Society. They're chasing me. There are some hooded figures that want to get at the power within me. So anyways, I've been in the woods, practicing
One of
my
these,
blade Yeah. I've been in the woods practicing my blade song, perfecting it, because basically nobody in my high elf village really wants anything to do with me anymore. They're tired of me ranting on and on about the Omega Society out to get me, and the dark power swelling within me and all this shit. So I'm basically exiled, but I'm still trying to do my own thing. So, and after a while, I head over to this town, and the fucking male facilities smell like orc ass, Dave. I mean, to be honest, I can't bathe in those conditions. So I kind of, masquerade as a female. I can pull it off, I'm good looking, like that. So I fall up into the female bath, Thankfully, there's enough fog to conceal my extremities and stuff from the female patients. When all of a sudden, this fucking dude just falls through the goddamn roof. And I figure the gig is up, then fucking police and stuff show up, so I start running. And this motherfucker's running right behind me, so we're bouncing. And he ends up, he's a pretty chill guy. We start hanging out a little bit, and then all of a sudden a fucking paladin pops out of nowhere, spouting some nonsense about righteousness and defiling female propriety and all this shit. We hightail it with this paladin, so. And then we run into Krusk and this chick here. I guess I'll let the chick explain what's going on.
The chick.
I don't know if our paladin would like to throw in his 2 cents. So
Yeah. I'm
to
sorry.
be with the other two.
I got you running behind us, man. Yeah. What caused this, dude?
You threw me off because you told me a different order of story here. You threw me off, man.
This was all thrown together very fast. Go ahead.
Okay, well, see, this bathroom bandit and this male who was impersonating a female clearly were trying to get at the virtues of said women in the female bathhouse. So I was across the street enjoying a good drink of ale, as one is wont to do after a hard days of paladining out there.
Palading.
So when they took
Palading.
off, I had to take off after them because surely this could not be, this was just couldn't be let go. So they were running for a reason. And okay, so when the paladin was chasing after them, just trying to get them to stop so they could explain their side of the story, because surely, I'm sure this could have been worked out, but they kept on running. I'm not sure what was going on, but all Draven knew was that he had to catch these two because they were running for a reason. They looked too shady
Run,
to
Rigby!
be for
It's
their
the
own
Omega
business.
Society. They're after me again.
Oh goodness. So we kept going on, and I'm chasing them until I think what happened was we came around and we found they wouldn't stop and let me talk to them. No matter how much I tried to tell them, look, just calm down. We can explain everything. Just turn yourselves in, and I'll make sure that you're treated decently until we find out what really happened. But they refused to stop.
And then we'll kill you.
I refused to draw my sword on them because they seem to be running. They're not attacking anyone. So I didn't want to just try to cut them down from behind because, well, after all, it would have been in my right since they were obviously lawbreakers. So. But then we kept on going until I believe we ran into a section of town where, unbeknownst to us, there was more shady things going on with some goblinoids or something trying to get into town, where we ran upon two other individuals who happened to be there. And then they'll tell you what happened when we got there.
Yeah.
So there is, in the high forest, every wood elf druid takes a sabbatical, if you will, goes on a spiritual journey, kind of like the Native Americans looking for their spirit animal. It comes to the time for this particular druid to do so. Following the Desserin River, she comes down towards Waterdeep, and as she continues her journey, she's ambushed by these goblins, and some very nice young men come to her aid.
That's when Crust showed up there.
Yeah, I heard her yelling, and I'm Krusk, I'm a gladiator that came from the mountains. I'm a half-orc, and I had finished a gladiator performance in Waterdeep. I had took a dump in the bathhouse.
Yeah, that's why it smelled like orchid.
That's why it smelled like. Yeah, if a half-orc takes a dump, he doesn't care, and a half-orc barbarian, he doesn't care about
It looked like a snake was crawling out
the
of his
health and why take a dump? I take a dump. And like I went out of the bathhouse and I came out of the city and I heard a lady being attacked by goblins, so I rushed in to help because I hate goblins. And while I was doing that, while I was getting to helping her, all of a sudden I see the high elf and the rogue, followed by
What
a
race is
paladin
Rigby? I'm
coming
sorry,
in.
what race is Rigby?
He's half elf.
Okay, alright. You see us then, answer.
Yeah, I see them coming in, so At that point, I think we all,
We dispatched the goblins.
Yeah.
You know.
we defeated the goblins, and then we started talking to each other.
Yeah, me and Rigby are exhausted by now. We've been running away from this paladin, all the way across Waterdeep. So.
Oh, yeah.
We're hassling. We just got into a fight with fucking goblins.
It's shortly after this event.
Alright, I lost Rigby for some reason.
Yeah, it froze up for me too.
Me too.
Alright, yeah, so shortly after this, we start traveling. Yeah, we come to some sort of mutual agreement.
Became friends with the paladin and everything.
Yeah, he found out that we weren't bad guys or whatever. That this dude just fell through the roof, and I was just trying to wash my ass. There's no crimes were going on here, So,
Sorry, dropped for a second.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no crimes
No
were
problem.
going on, so we all kind of agreed to get along together, and I guess
And
that's
I
when
believe this is where I tell everyone
Okay.
about my spiritual journeys, where I find out who I really am, my name and everything. It's where I become an actual druid. So everyone agrees to help me find a place to perform said ritual. And as we are setting up for the ritual and I'm starting to get into meditation, we get attacked again.
more fucking goblins.
Again, goblins.
I think this woman draws goblins to us. She's a goblin magnet.
So the goblins were dispatched.
Yeah, we took care of these goblins too. Yeah.
Yeah. I cleaved some of them in half.
So we tentatively start calling her Gabi because she draws goblins to us. So her name is Gabi for now. She needs a name, so we call her Gabi. Anywhere we go, goblins are going to attack us because of this bitch.
Feel horrible about it, and next just makes her feel
Change your
like she
perfume or
was
something,
trying to
woman.
do.
Something is drawing these goblins to you.
What's perfume?
Take a bath then. How about that?
Yeah, I'm
You
like
don't want me
I
to
do
take a
think
bath.
I beg to differ. I do indeed want you to take a bath.
So in the week since
Maybe
you,
it's him and not me.
Alright. So after all these goblin exploits, I guess Draven pipes up with his mission or whatever. You remember? You remember talking about that, Draven?
Oh yeah. Well, see, what happened was, I was in Waterdeep, and we were going to night. I had just heard that Lady Velrosa was seeking those who wanted to deal with a goblin threat. So
That's
while
what
we
I
were,
heard too.
so I was going to take it upon myself to go to Nightstone to help her. But since joining up with them, we seem to always run into goblins. So why not be proactive once and jump the goblins first before they jump us? It didn't take very much convincing to get these guys to go along there. Of course, the mention of there being a reward was a minor consequence to Draven, but he wasn't going to turn it down. But I believe the others were more than enthusiastic to hear that there was some sort of monetary compensation for going to deal with these goblins. Although Draven doesn't mind helping out without necessarily needing to have monetary compensation.
And at this time, our supplies were almost shot through, right, Rigby? What are we gonna do about this shit, Rigby? I mean, I left my wallet in the bathhouse. Some bitches probably got it by now.
I know we need to get supplies badly here soon. Going back to Daggerford isn't an option because there's bathhouse burglar portraits
got
up all
relocated to Waterdeep.
over Daggerford now. So I don't think I can go back there, guys.
so
Right.
for the reward for Lady Dalvora, whatever her name was, Draven, go ahead and roll me a D8, because after you dispatched the goblins, she gave you an item. All right, she gave you she just gave a potion of healing towards the entire group.
Oh, okay.
All right, so you guys have a potion of healing. We'll keep track of that.
Alright.
Now, as you cannot go back to Daggerford, you guys are running low on supplies. There's still 4 more adventures that you guys go ahead and explain. What came next on your trip to Nightstone?
Okay.
Okay, remember that time, guys, when we were trying? It was just a few days ago. We were trying to go to Nightstone, and we ran across this old man who had told us he had been set upon by some bandits, and we had to track him down through the woods in order to go and get his. He was just trying to take.
Yeah.
He was just trying to take some his crop to like the local farmers market to get it, to just sell it and make some money, but the bandits took his goods. So out of the kindness of my heart, I volunteered us, much to the chagrin of the others, to go and get his stuff back for him. And he didn't even have to pay us. Of course, I ignored the glares from the others behind me when I said that he wouldn't have to pay us. We would do this to help him because he was just a poor old man. And when we went to go after this, it turned out that this bandit was trying to set himself up as some sort of self-styled bandit king.
Oh, God.
And we had to wade through his little minions, and it was a rough fight. We had to like stop Krusk a little bit from going a bit overboard after Krusk was like in his element and like wading through them back and forth.
Yeah, I was just slamming my battle axe to the left, to the right. I was like mauling them down.
This self-styled bandit king, when he saw this happening, it was at that moment he realized he fucked up, and so he went to try to get away, but I believe that Rigby and Nix had managed to circle around to keep him from getting away, and Krusk almost killed him, but Gabi managed to calm Krusk down enough so that he didn't kill him, and we were able to convince him of the error of his ways, and we got all the old man's goods plus some extra goods that we took from him as penalty for him doing all this. So we took what treasures he had been hoarding and brought back to give to the poor, is what Draven said, but the others are like, yeah, we're poor, so we need it.
Draven, you're just letting this guy go, man. I mean, how naive can you
everyone was going back on the road, but I was still a little bit pissed off, so all the tendons so that were still standing up, I just threw them down. I like you, bastard.
So on this self-proclaimed Bandit King, you found a pretty interesting item. Roll a d8 for me.
Who?
Roll that out.
Anyone.
Russ.
Anyone can roll it. Okay, so on this self-proclaimed Bandit King, you found an item, a very small little pouch. And this is what the pouch looks like as you pull it out of the bag and you're all, conversing with one another. This is what the pouch looks like.
Okay.
So what happened after the Bandit Lord?
Oh,
is that a nose?
It is, yeah. It's like a nose that just just kind of attaches to the bag, yes, and then there's a powder inside of the bag. It's like a little pouch that just kind of goes onto your belt. So
Okay.
I'm interested. What happens next after the Bandit Lord?
I think that's about where we got to. Let's see.
Okay. Well, see. Okay,
Go ahead,
here's what
man.
happened. Okay, see, after this Bandit King, we managed to get a little bit of rest, and then
We got
we
some
were woke
supplies
up.
and shit now, dude.
Yeah, we took your supplies, so you guys were not so bad off. You replaced some of your gold that you had left back in town, since you had to leave so hurriedly. but we were. It was early morning, and I was
This
getting
guy's
up.
volunteer.
I was about to get up for prayers when we were awakened in the morning light by this loud roar, and come rushing out of the forest there was a large owl bear.
Oh.
And so I quickly woke everybody up to deal with this because they were some very sound sleepers. They sleep late. They're like lazy, sleep too late. I wake up early to do. I had to give Krusk an extra kick to wake him up because Krusk clearly didn't want to wake up. So we had to give Krusk an extra kick in the
I
side.
sleep deep.
I
And
was
this-
up late into the night thinking about mortality and things.
This was one combat that put our
My fun salutations.
What's going on? What's all this racket there, Draven?
Owlbear, 2 arms. See,
Owlbear? What kind of monstrosity is that? Aren't they nocturnal? Goddammit! Tell them to go back to sleep.
well, yeah, apparently something woke it up. So then we had to deal with this, and being sleepy and having to deal with this. This was yet another test of our combat preparedness, as we had to deal with this. Sadly, I did not. Sadly we had to dispatch said creature, even though it was mere. Who knows what woke it up and had it out here? We never found that out, but it was something that it almost severely mauled Nyx. But I laid my hands on him and used my paladin healing touch
A little lower.
to heal Nyx to as best I could, and he rested, and he has like this really cool. He had really cool scars that healed up, or they didn't heal up. I guess if Nyx wants them to stay there or something. But
Yeah, no, they healed up.
the Owlbear adventure, which like woke us up, and we had to deal with it.
You
And
couldn't
once
show
again-
that damn owlbear the error of his ways like the Bandit King? Goddamn, Draven, what kind of paladin are you?
Well, if I could have talked to it, maybe I would have shown it the error of its
Gabi
ways.
here, surely she speaks the language of the owlbears, don't you, girl?
I can't speak with the animals.
Well, see, there you go. You could have got her to show the owlbear there.
But it was dead before I could speak to it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I guess we kind of investigate the cause of this owlbear. I mean, owlbears are nocturnal, from what I mean, I don't know much about them, but it's a fucking owl.
Yeah, you
know,
were able to
it's-
trace it back to its lair.
Yeah, and it seems like there's goblins around this motherfucker again, yet again, more goblins.
Goblin.
So, it's like a small goblin army by the owlbear lair, yeah, and then we get into more shit with the goblins. They seem awfully fixated on Gabi for some reason.
Maybe they were worshiping the owlbear. You know, who knows? So somebody give me, because inside of this owlbear lair, you found a small nest, and you found a couple of items in here.
Okay.
All right. The first item that you find is another bag, and this is as you open up the bag, it has beans inside of the bag.
Oh Jesus!
Oh, the beanbag.
Okay.
Hey, I
And
can show you how to kick that thing, dude. I was
the
really
second,
good
go
at
ahead
this
and roll
last
it
one.
again. Go ahead and roll one more time.
Okay. So, somebody rolling? If not, I'll roll. Okay.
And also, you know, attached to this, this bag of beans was actually attached to this. It was tied onto the handle of this large jug, and this jug is actually quite heavy. And this jug has all
Whoa.
kinds of corks in it. And you also find this as well, so it's rather intriguing to you. And the last
You
item,
carry that, Krusk. It's awfully damn heavy.
yeah, the last item you find was within all of the hordes of goblin that you had slain. So you can give me one more roll.
No, he rolled another one there. We'll go ahead and take that one, I guess.
Okay.
Well, wait. I think it did something weird. I don't know why it suddenly showed up a 7 by my name.
Did you roll a dice?
No, I
Okay, well,
didn't.
never mind. Yeah, well, somebody roll something then.
Yeah.
I thought that 7 was a roll.
Yeah, so the on the goblins, you found another healing potion. All right, that much was obvious. Now the
Maybe they should have
last,
drank this themselves before we slew them.
yeah, yeah, no, the last item that you found is quite nice. Well, I don't know if it's really nice. It was on this goblin shaman that seemed to be controlling the horde that you were fighting. And this goblin was up in one of the trees. You know, he had actually levitated up to the tree and was standing on a branch giving commands as you were fighting. And this fight went on for hours, all the way until the sun went down, and that's when you were finally able to, you know, get the victory over these goblins. These goblins just kept coming wave after wave, and you never thought it was going to end. You exhausted all of your resources. You know, you exhausted all of your magic.
Yeah, I raged 2 times.
And then after you went down about 4 or 5 times, you found this robe.
Oh, no.
Now, this robe, the robe looks like this, okay?
Oh shit!
And it has many patches
Oh god!
that are on this robe. So those are the 5 items, actually 6 items that you had found. The first item is 2 healing potions. So if you guys want to tell me who has the healing
we need to
potions,
allocate these things. We need to allocate
let's
these.
allocate these now.
Crust definitely needs a healing potion, and Draven's a frontliner, so he needs one too, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, I'll take one.
Okay.
All right, Krusk, you've got one, and then Draven, you've got the other healing potion. And this is, you know, these are, now that, you know, the goblins are dispatched, you know, it's nighttime, the coast is clear, you've surveyed, you know, about a mile out from you, you know, the druid that's in your company, she basically transformed into a bird to make sure she scouted the area. Everything was fine.
After she flies away, I kind of whisper to Rigby, we need to get as far away from this chick as possible. I think she's the reason that we're fighting goblins from dawn to dusk every fucking day.
Don't let her hear that, otherwise she'll
Let's
make
go.
back
Let's
and
just
bird
go.
poop on you.
Let's just go.
Okay, so this bag of beans, all right. Who has this bag of beans? Because when you look inside of it, there are you count the amount of beans, and there are a total of 7 beans in this bag. So
we
who
have any
wants,
way of
who
knowing
wants
what it
the bag
does?
of beans? I'll tell you what. We'll say that you spent the entire night.
Can we all jibe with these items or whatever they call it?
Exactly. We'll say that you all basically found out what all of these items do. So this is a bag of beans, okay? And, you know, the bag itself weighs a half a pound, and each bean weighs a quarter pound. These beans are heavy, and they're big. So these 7 beans almost weigh a couple pounds more, so, you know, the bag itself weighs like 3 pounds. Now, you know that if you take
Some
these
big-ass
beans,
beans.
these are some pretty flammable beans.
Oh, okay.
You could take these beans and you can throw them out of the bag and they'll explode. Or, you know that the lore of this is you can bury one of these, say, beans, and something will happen. After a minute or so, something will grow out of the ground. That is, you know, there's been stories of all kinds of crazy things that have grown from these beans. Everything from treants to hordes of goblins have just sprouted out from the ground. Yeah.
I was going to say this sounds like a very druidy item, but if we gave it to Gabi, knowing her and goblins would just start flocking out of these bean plants.
Or worse, one will be a beholder bean.
Exactly.
Beholder.
So
I just
yes.
think it's a very druidy item. It's a very natural type of item.
So you have the bag of beans, and it has 7 beans in it. Who wants the bag of beans? And I'm injecting these items into the game, folks. The
I
players
apparently
can't hear
don't think
this.
I'm trusted with it.